Hello, Bronco fans and football fans everywhere. Welcome to Broncos Breakdown on the MHRT Network. This is a show that is everything Broncos and brought to you with emotion, passion, honesty, and of course, my comments. I am your host, Bronco Bill. All right, guys, before we get into the actual show and all that, I just want to say I want to wish each and every one of you a very, very merry and safe Christmas this coming Monday. This is the last Friday show that I'll be doing. No, not ever, but my last Friday show that I'll be doing before Christmas. Obviously, I have one more before New Year's, and that would be the last one for the year 2023. Man, I cannot believe this year went by so fast. It really did. It really did. And I honestly can't it's hard to wrap my head around that the fact that the whole pandemic and everything was 3 years ago. That's crazy. It's just time just flies by. It really does. It really does. Okay, guys, once again, I hope you guys had a wonderful week. We're at the end of the work week for some of us. I work tomorrow at the golf course, but anyways, it's the end of the work week. Christmas is on Monday. You guys, Broncos play Sunday night, Christmas Eve against the Patriots. We'll get into that too. But I just want to wish each and every one of you, like I said, a very, very safe and very, very Merry Christmas this coming Monday. All right, guys, let's get right into it. This is a must-win Sunday for Denver, okay? With the loss to the Lions last Saturday, boy, that was devastating, man. If you guys missed my thoughts and comments on that, go back and watch Elevation Orange that I did on Monday, this past Monday. Boy, it was a really, really good show. It was a great show. That the chat was interactive. It was fun. Anyways, with the loss to the Lions last Saturday night, Denver's road to the playoffs begins this Sunday against New England. And no, Broncos are not in the playoffs officially right now, but their mindset has to be the playoffs. Because if their mindset is not the playoffs, you might as well just pack their bags and go home right now. Because that's the bottom line. They have to win out. They could have easily gotten a spot, well, easy, maybe not easy is a word, but easier, with a win against Detroit last Sunday or Saturday. That didn't happen. It was embarrassing, 42-17, and a whole lot of ugly stuff that I'll get into as well. But the thing is Broncos' back is against the wall now. Their backs are against the wall. They have to treat this Sunday like a playoff game. They can't leave anything on the table or on the field. They can't. They have to give it everything and everything they have. Now, I don't know what their mindset is coming off of that 42-17 loss to Detroit in prime time. Oh, speaking of prime time, this Sunday night is also prime time. Let's just hope things are different. But in any case, the Broncos have to, whether they play in the afternoon or they play at night, Broncos have to treat this as a playoff game. They have to. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. They've got to treat it like a playoff game. They have to treat it like lose and go home. And it's pretty much that way right now. There's only 3 games left, and they're all 3 against teams with losing records. The Patriots this Sunday, the Chargers the following weekend, and then we end up going on the road to Vegas and play them. They have a losing record. So there's going to be no excuse from the Broncos if they lose this Sunday or next week or the following. There's not going to be an excuse. None whatsoever. Let me continue. The Broncos can't sit back and not be 100% focused on playing playoff-minded games. That's exactly what I just said. You have to play playoff-minded games. You must. This is no time to sit back and go, well, boy, the Patriots are an easy team. They've only won a couple games. Man, we got this game. We got this game big time. No, you don't. No, you don't. Nothing's guaranteed. And Bill Belichick, he wants to play spoiler. He wants to. Belichick has always had it in for the Broncos. Always. And so Denver has to have that kind of mindset. They have to know that Belichick is going to throw everything at them. And that's what Belichick does. Doesn't matter who the quarterback is. Look at New England. They've upset some teams this year. They played the Kansas City Chiefs tough. Not until Kansas City, pulled it. But you know what I'm saying? They play them tough. And this Sunday is not going to be any different. Not going to be any different. Sean Payton had better put a game plan in. He had better figure out what Belichick loves to do, which is take away your number one receiver. Well, who's our number one receiver right now? Courtland Sutton. He's going to do anything and everything to take Courtland Sutton out of the game. Not make him irrelevant. Then we're only left with Jerry Jeudy and Mims. I mean, yeah, we got P. Ryan coming out of the backfield, but they only use him really late in the fourth quarter when that happens. But during the game, first, second, third quarters, if they take Sutton away, they take away our best weapon, and that's what Belichick loves to do. Loves to do that. Broncos had better bring their A game this week for sure. Then following week against the Chargers and wrapping it up against the Raiders. We cannot lose any one of these games. And I said on my Monday show in Elevation Orange that if the Broncos had to lose one of the last 4 games, let it be against the Lions because they're the only team with the winning record. And when you lose to a team with a winning record, who's going to the playoffs, by the way, you are, you don't have that much to hang. I mean, you don't have that. I shouldn't say it doesn't hurt. Of course it does. But it wouldn't hurt as much as if you lose to a team like New England who hasn't won hardly anything this year. That would hurt more. And that would sting going into the Charger game. So this is a very, very must win. All right, let me wrap this. Yes, the Broncos do need help, but none of it will matter if they don't win this Sunday. Absolutely. Absolutely, that's what I'm saying. If they don't win this Sunday, it doesn't matter. It does not matter if they get help or not. Because what are they going to get help for? Making it even that much tougher to make it to the playoffs? I mean, seriously. Seriously, guys. And I know we could go back to week 1 and week 2 when we lost to the Raiders by 1 point, and then we let the Redskins / Commanders back in the game, and they ended up winning it in the fourth quarter. Yeah, go back and if we win those 2 games, guess what our record is? 9-5, not 7-7. That was a 4-game switch. 4-game switch. But we can't go backwards, guys. We can't. We can't look back. We can't say to ourselves, "Oh, coulda, woulda, shoulda." You can't do that. You just gotta do what you gotta do in front of you. All right, let's get to the chat. Doc Hopper in the house batting leadoff in the chat. Nice to have you, Doc Hopper. Nice to have you. He says, "Yo, Bronco Bill, what the deal is, my brother? Hey, you know what? I'm just here doing the show, here enjoying myself and enjoying the chat. Just having a good Friday evening, bringing the Broncos breakdown, and we're just gonna have some fun. So bring your ideas and comments and whatnot, and we'll talk about it." Doc also says, "Break it down for these MFers." Well, I'm doing my best, man. I'm doing my best. Well, you know what? Doc Hopper says it's gonna feel real effing good when you all beat Belichick this weekend. Yeah, I agree. I just know that Belichick he's a wizard at creating schemes and stuff that the opposing teams haven't seen. And Belichick scares me. I don't care who their quarterback is. It could be Joe Blow off the street, and somehow, some way, Belichick's going to make him look like Tom Brady. I mean, sure, the Patriots haven't had a stellar season. That doesn't matter. It does not matter. Because when it comes down to brass taxes, Belichick will do what Belichick can do to win the game. And the Patriots have been in a lot of games this year. They have. They've been in close games this year. It's just they didn't finish. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that, their quarterback is now Tom Brady. I mean, nobody's really Tom Brady. Seriously. Peyton Manning's up there, John Elway's up there, but we're talking about, Super Bowl championships and things like that. So, it doesn't matter. Belichick is going to do what Belichick does, and he is going to study the Broncos and what they do best. He's going to take away the Broncos' best weapons, offense and defense, primarily offense, which is Courtland Sutton. That bothers me. That scares me. Now, so if that happens, we got to get the run game working, guys. We got to get the run game going. We got to have the offensive line not make bonehead plays like they did against Detroit, but it wouldn't have mattered if we got that touchdown instead of field goal. We still would have lost. We still would have. I mean, 28-14. I'll get into that. Okay, but anyways, so bottom line is Belichick is going to do what Belichick does. And that is cause havoc on both sides of the ball. Plain and simple, both sides of the ball. And so I don't know, Doc Hopper. It's gonna be a tough game. It's gonna be a tough game. I'll get into that. That's my last topic tonight. I will get into my prediction of who I think is gonna win and what the score will be. So hang on and keep listening. Thanks. Kamani remembers what I said on Elevation Orange. I said that when I was younger, I really wanted to be a DJ. And I wanted to spin the records, and I wanted to, answer the phones and take requests and that kind of thing, kind of interacting and things like that, when you're doing stuff by yourself, so, I could do the show, and you guys make it all worthwhile. And like I said, in that, on that show on Monday, Elevation Orange, I said, that's what I feel like I'm doing here on my show in Elevation Orange. I feel like I'm living a dream. Because, I'm not spinning records or anything, but it's like I'm conversing with you guys. Instead of being on the phone, it's in a chat. So it's really cool, man. It's really, really cool. Technology is really is made it so much rewarding to me, and hopefully all you guys out there watching or listening, it's rewarding, and hopefully it's rewarding to you guys too. I really appreciate it. By the way, Kamai said, Bill, Mr. DJ, that's what he was referring to. Oh my gosh, Kamani, you're something else, man. You're something special. Kamani says Broncos 27, Patriots 13. I will get into that at the end of the last topic of the show. I'll let you know what I think. Kamani said we should have a contest to see who can give you the best DJ name. Oh, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. I like that. Kamani. That'd be pretty neat. And then I'd have to have Mike design it. And then I can, get a sweatshirt or something like that, or a hat on there. That'd be pretty cool, Kamani. DJ Knockout. Is that like Hitman Bill? Is that like Hitman Bill? I like it. That's pretty cool. DJ Knockout. That's or KO. DJ. I don't know if you can say KO. You can, but there's a KOA in Denver. I was gonna say KO. KO DJ or so. I don't know. I don't know. That's fun. That's a fun thing to kick around there, Kamani. I like it. I'm going to have to tap into Mike's ear. All right. Topic of the show is the Broncos need some help. My phrasing of that would be Broncos need, just like the Beatles song, a little help from my friends. Broncos need a little help from their friends. And I don't mean friends in the standpoint or the vernacular or whatever the word is. I don't mean it in that realm to where Denver has teams that they like. No. When you're playing a team and all that, you don't like them at that moment. You may like the players on there later on and stuff like that, or when you guys get together in the offseason. That's all well and good. When I say the Broncos need a little help from their friends, I'm talking about teams that can help them to get to the playoffs. Now, the Broncos got to do their part. They have to win out. They absolutely have to win out. But they also need help because they didn't take care of business earlier in the season and also last Saturday. That's the reason why. So when I say the Broncos need the Beatles song, a little help from my friends, it's exactly what I'm saying. And friends are in the following. Hang on a second. Denver will need help from their friends to bolster their chances of making the playoffs, as well as them needing to win out. That's what I just mentioned. All right. Here are the teams Denver needs to win this week First off, like I mentioned, Denver needs to beat the Patriots. That's first and foremost. We have to beat the Patriots. Plain and simple. No two ways about it. No two ways about it. If we don't, might as well just pack your bags and head on home because the last 2 games will mean nothing. All right, here it is. Here are the other games that the Broncos need to have happen. All right, Chargers need to beat Buffalo. Okay, that's fine. That's all well and good. Will they do it? Probably not. Well, we need Buffalo to lose because we are the tiebreaker with Buffalo. So we need them to lose to help us out. Will it happen? I am not putting my money on the Chargers. Absolutely not putting my money. They have nothing to play for. What are they going to play for if they win? A lower playoff, a lower draft choice? That's exactly what they'd be doing if they won. But we got to hope. We got to hope they win. Ain't going to happen. It's not going to happen, but we can hope. Okay? Now, we need the Steelers to beat the Bengals. Who's calling me? Oh, we need the Steelers to beat the Bengals. Okay? Is that going to happen? Steelers haven't won. I don't know. They're pathetic as well. But we need them to beat the Bengals, even though we have tiebreaker. We don't want them to be in that spot. Okay? We don't want the Bengals to win. We have to have the Steelers beat the Bengals. Do I think that's going to happen? No. I don't think that's going to happen because I don't have confidence in the Steelers. They're just not good this year. I mean, have you seen some of their games? Pathetic. Okay. We need Tampa Bay to beat Jacksonville. Is that possible? Absolutely, that's possible. Absolutely, that's possible. So I think that one is in the Broncos' hip pocket. I'm pretty sure that Tampa Bay can beat Jacksonville. Pretty sure. Okay. Now we need Cleveland to beat Houston. And why do we need Cleveland to beat Houston? Well, we don't own the tiebreaker against Cleveland. They're a couple games ahead of us, or at least a game ahead of us. And here's the other thing. If Houston, we don't own the tiebreaker against Houston. They beat us. So we need Houston to lose so that we can gain ground on them. Okay? And have the same record as them. So that maybe we can leapfrog over them next week. Okay, so the Houston has to lose. Cleveland has to come through. Do I think Cleveland's going to beat Houston? Yes, I do. I don't think C.J. Stroud is coming back from the concussion, but if he is, doesn't matter. I think Cleveland with Flacco, all of a sudden, Joe Flacco looks like Joe World. The guy looks crazy good. Why wasn't he like that in Denver? I have no clue. But he sure dang looks good. And if he can keep going like that with Cleveland and beat Houston, that helps out the Broncos. Okay, this is a weird one. But I'm going to explain why we have to cheer for the Dallas Cowboys against the Miami Dolphins. That's right, guys. We have to cheer for an NFC team to beat an AFC team, which is all well and good. But here's the reason why. If Miami wins the South, who else is that? Miami, Houston. Yeah, we have to have Miami. Wait a minute, that ain't right. Dallas to beat Miami. I don't think that sounds right. I think we need Miami to beat Dallas. Well, anyways, it has something to do with Miami and Buffalo. That's right. Buffalo's in the division. We have to have the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo's in the East. Who's in the South? Houston. That doesn't make any sense. I think this article is wrong. I think Miami has to beat. No, that's right. Dallas has to beat Miami because Miami owns a tiebreaker against us. We have to have them drop down. That's right. Okay, that makes sense. I don't know what I was thinking. Here's the one that's weird. Kansas City to beat the Raiders. And the reason why is if Denver, they're basing on the fact that if Denver loses if Denver wins, if Denver wins, we got to keep the distance between the Broncos and the Raiders. Okay. The Raiders are on our tail and we got to play them the last game of the season. So that's the reason why there could be a tiebreaker there. So if Kansas City beats the Raiders, we don't have to worry about the Raiders. The Chargers are already done. We're not worried about them. but we have to worry about the Raiders because we play them the last game of the season. Yes, we play the Chargers a week after this Sunday, but the Chargers are in worse record-wise than the Raiders. So we have to have the Raiders lose so that they don't have a chance to catch us on the last game of the season. That's the reason why. So there's a whole lot of issues that the Broncos are facing because they did not beat the Lions last week. And they just made the road to the playoffs that much harder. That much harder. We need a lot of help, guys. And once again, Chargers to beat Buffalo, I don't think so. Steelers to beat Bengals, again, I don't think so. Tampa Bay, Jacksonville, yes, Tampa Bay wins that one. Cleveland, Houston, Cleveland wins that one. I'm going with Dallas to beat Miami. I don't think so. I hope so, but I don't think so. And Kansas City beat the Raiders. Yeah, easy. That's easy money right there. That's easy money. Doesn't matter where they're playing. If it's in Vegas, hey, bet the house on Kansas City. I don't see them losing it. I really don't see. All right, Kamani says, well, I appreciate that, Kamani. Kamani says, yes, we do. I think I'm not sure. Yes, we do. I don't know if that's in reference to me saying that you guys make me better, or it's enjoyable. I don't know if you're saying it's enjoyable for yourself, that kind of thing. Let's say, yeah, if that's the case, then thanks again, Kamai. I really do appreciate it. Really do appreciate it. All right. Mike McGlinchey talks about the blow up on the sideline between Sean Payton and Russell Wilson. Here it is. Although Russell Wilson has said about Payton's outburst towards himself, Wilson said, and I quote, "I don't really try to pay attention to it, to be honest with you. After all, I was there," end quote. Of course you were there. He was yelling at you. But you say you don't pay that much attention to it? How can you not pay that much attention? Now, do you mean internally? Do you mean let it get you off your game? I don't know what that means. I don't really try to pay attention to it, to be honest with you. I mean, okay, well, we all try not to pay attention to a whole lot of stuff. But when you hear critical comments or you hear things that are bothersome to you, it's going to stick in your head. It's going to stick in your heart. It's going to hurt you. It's awful hard for me to believe that Russell Wilson, knowing that the cameras were on him, and it was, obviously you may not know it then, but social media sure let it know afterwards. It was all over TV and blown up and all that. You don't think that the things that he hears, things that he sees, you don't think that bothers him? It would bother me. Absolutely. I think it would bother 99% of the people. Maybe there are a few people out there, a few handful of people that can just let it go in one ear and out the other. Kind of hard for a lot of people. It stings. Words hurt. Doesn't matter whether you're saying them in gist, in a joke, or trying to motivate, whatever. But whatever was said, Russell Wilson didn't say anything, but to me, it looked like it hurt. And that's bothersome to me because I don't know the continuity of this team at this point in time. When we're we're trying to make the playoffs. We're on a 3-game playoff atmosphere in Denver. Has to be. And to have this kind of, outburst by Sean Payton. I went into depth on this, guys. I even played a video on my Elevation Orange. Go back and watch that on the MHRT Network, as well as my own YouTube channel, Broncos Breakdown. Whichever one you want to go to is fine. Watch that show and the video, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. It was done wrongly, and I don't know where this team is going to be come Sunday against the Patriots in the other primetime game Sunday night. I don't know where their mind's going to be at. I don't know where their head's going to be at. Let me continue. McGlinchey does seem to think he knows about this. Okay. McGlinchey said, and I quote, "I think it's been completely blown out of proportion. Things like this happens, especially in a huge game for us with a lot on the line. I think Russell and Sean are two of the most competitive people that you'll ever be around. and people get emotional, especially in the fourth quarter of a game where you're getting your ass kicked. I'm quoting. I wouldn't think anything of that, and nobody in this locker room does, end quote. There you go. Mike McGlinchey doesn't think that this even impacted the team whatsoever. He says that they're not believing it. The locker room, the locker room has dismissed it. It's just like nobody paid attention to it. It's in one ear and out the other, and they move on and focus on the Patriots. Let's hope that's true. Let's hope that's true. Do I believe McGlinchey? Well, he's in the locker room. He's on the team. He ought to. Whoa, sorry about that, guys. Hitting the microphone. He's on the team. He's in the locker room. He ought to know how these guys are thinking and what they're saying. You know that stuff like that goes around. These guys don't keep everything internally. They may keep some things, but not when it comes to camaraderie or how they feel in the locker room. You've heard of locker room dysfunctional locker room? Well, apparently, according to McGlinchey, this isn't a dysfunctional locker room. They're dismissing him. They're saying, no big deal. It's all good. We're fine. We're moving on. We're thinking about the Patriots. Let's freaking hope so. Let's hope so. I don't know. I can only go by what Mike McGlinchey is saying. That's all I can go by. Okay. Kamai said, you don't know what Dallas team's going to show for Sunday. Well, that's true. That's very, very true, Kamani. Very true. And the Miami Dolphins are solid. They are solid. I mean, that's evident. Look what they've done all season long in their wins and their blowouts and one-sidedness or whatever. Yeah, they're a tough team. And, if Dallas is not on their game, and yes, the Dallas Cowboys have already clinched a playoff spot. So they're not really going to bring their A game, in my opinion. They may bring a B or B plus. It ain't going to be their A game. What are they playing for? They're not going to win the division. Philadelphia's got that wrapped up. So what in heavens are they going to play for? Maybe a higher seed. I don't know if they have the number 4th. I don't know. Or number 5, whatever, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, if they have the number 5, I don't know. That's something I don't know. But it doesn't matter. Every team should play to win regardless of your record, regardless where you sit in the playoffs, because you want the motivation. You want the confidence. You want the knowledge of knowing that, hey, we can come out on any given day, any given Sunday, Monday, Thursday, whatever, and we can play our best and we can win. Is Dallas going to do that? I don't know, Kamani. I don't know. You're right. Which Dallas team are we going to see? All right. Miners talks about offsides. Now, in that game against Detroit last week, when Denver was trailing 28-7, and they had an opportunity to make it 28-14, cut it in half, in my opinion, it wouldn't have mattered anyways in the outcome. But instead of losing, 42-17, we could have lost 42-21. Okay, well, whatever. And then what if we would have lost 42-28 or 35? See, it didn't. Anyways, so Miners was offsides, and I mentioned in the elevation orange, he was off by maybe, let me go back, like maybe that far, right where my fingernail is, right? Where am I going? Right there. About that far off. He was offsides. Okay. And they called it as very, very critical because Denver scored a touchdown then. So instead of being 28-14, it was 28-10. Okay. All right. Okay. I give you Miners his explanation. With Denver trailing Detroit last Saturday, 28-7, it appeared they would cut that lead in half. However, Miners was called for lining up offsides. Miners said, and I quote, "All I know is that it was close." That's part of the point of that play, and those kinds of plays is to get as close as you can, and it's the way I've always lined up my entire career, end quote. Okay, what he's trying to say is when you let's say, okay, you need a first down, okay, and the ball is let me go sideways, guys, and the ball is here, okay, you don't want to line up way behind the ball, which is back here. You want to be as close to that point or whatever that point is. I can get my ball again, but in any case, you want to be as close to that point, and I understand. One of the people in the chat said that when the ball is placed like this, let me get the ball. So when the ball is placed like this on the line of scrimmage, if you rock it back, and now this becomes, let me go this way. Now this becomes the line of scrimmage, not here. And the reason why, my understanding is, if you rock it back, now you're emphasizing this is what's touching the ground, because right here, this really isn't touching the ground. This point in the center is not touching the ground. So therefore, you have to have the point of the ball touching the ground at some point in time, and that's where the line of scrimmage is. So that's the reason why he was offsides. Okay, so and the reason why you want to get that close is so that you have an advantage over the defense, that you can lunge forward more and have a better chance of getting your block or opening up the hole or whatever it is. And in this case, they did get the touchdown, but it was called back because of the lining up offsides by Miners. But at least he owned up to it. He said, hey, I've been doing it my whole career. He said he knew it was close. Well, I mean, it was close. It was like that much over. But over is over. So, you know what? You just got to roll with the punches. Over is over. Okay. Kamani schooled me on this. It says, no, Eagles and Cowboys are 10-4. Both teams are 10-4. Wow. Okay. So that means that Dallas does have a chance to win the division. I didn't realize that. I thought the Eagles were running away with it. I don't really pay too much attention to the NFC. I probably should pay attention more, but since the Broncos are in the AFC and the AFC West, that's what I pay attention to. So, wow, that is crazy, Kamani, that the Eagles and Cowboys are tied at 10. Well, okay, let's just hope the Cowboys come out and play their hearts out to try and win the division. Now that I know that there's a possibility, and that they go and they do beat the Miami Dolphins. That would definitely help out the Denver Broncos big time. That would definitely help out Denver, because we don't own the tiebreaker. So we have to have them lose. Plain and simple. We don't own the tiebreaker, so we have to have them lose. Okay. All right. Nick Benito. This is not good, guys. This is not good. Nick Benito is questionable to play against the Patriots due to an injury he suffered against the Chargers in Week 14. What was that injury? All they said was that he was injured. That's all they said. Here it is. That injury was clarified last Wednesday as an MCL injury. Oh, no. Oh, no. Peyton said, and I quote, "I'm optimistic. He'll be questionable for the game, but I know he's feeling better," end quote. Okay, he's feeling better. You can feel better by taking pain pills if that hurts bad enough. Or you can feel better by not walking on it. You can feel better by not taking a hit to the knee. MCL. That's also what Javonte Williams had, along with his ACL and PCL or whatever that is. So, yeah, an MCL is serious. Is he questionable? Why would you put Benito in if he has a very high percentage of getting hit on that knee and now tearing it or doing whatever? They didn't say it was torn. They didn't say it was damaged. They said he has an MCL injury. What the heck does that mean? Does it mean it's strained? It's inflamed? It's, I don't know. It's swollen up for some reason. It's bruised. I don't know. I don't know what that means. All I know is it means that he's questionable with an MCL. Well, you talk about Sean Payton and everybody else keeping everything nice, and we're not saying nothing. We're not saying a thing. I mean, look at hockey. Hockey is crazy when they talk about an injury. You know what hockey says? Hockey says upper body injury, lower body injury. Well, if it's upper body, it could be your chest, your arm, your shoulder, your face, your neck, your head, everything. Why don't they come out and say it? Well, in football, Sean Payton's kind of doing the same thing. Kind of doing the same thing by not really saying much of anything, to tell you the truth. Not really saying much of anything. Wow, that is crazy, Kamani says the Cowboys are in first place, better division record. Woo! Who would have thought that when the Eagles started out undefeated for a very good handful of games? I mean, who would have thought that? Well, then who would have thought the Broncos being 1-5 would turn around and be 7-7? Not this guy. Not this guy. So it's been a crazy NFL season. It really has. I never thought some teams would be as good as they are, a la Cleveland and in Detroit. And then I didn't think some teams would be as horrible as they are, a la Denver at the beginning of the season. And, Kansas City, losing a handful of games. Buffalo Bills not doing so well. Teams like that you thought would just be running away with their division, but not so much. Not so much. All right. This is a shorter show, primarily just because there's not a whole lot of news out there. I've got two more topics. And this one is going to be a little interesting. Listen to this. The weather in Denver for Christmas Eve is a winter wonderland. They're expecting snow, guys. Yeah. Christmas Eve, the game the Broncos play Sunday night at home against the Patriots. They're expecting snow. Here in Southern California, we just had a storm come through. We had a tremendous downpour in the greater LA area. I don't live in the area where they got a downpour of like 6 inches in 24 hours. It's crazy. I'm south of that, southeast of that. We got some rain. That storm is moving towards Denver. And it should get there. This is Friday. It should get there, they're saying, by Sunday night. So Denver could have a white winter wonderland, snow. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Listen. So how fitting is it that the Broncos will wear their orange Crush Rush uniforms with the snow-capped helmets? That's right, guys. The white helmet with the orange D. That's the one they're going to be wearing. How fitting. Now, yeah, I was going to say, do you think they'll blend into all the snow on the ground? Not so much. Not with that bright orange. No, with that bright orange jersey and pants. Oh, my gosh. I got to wear my sunglasses again. Holy Toledo, man. Gee, turn down the brightness on the TV. That's for freaking sure. Anyways, Denver will be getting new uniforms down the road. Yes, that's been talked about. They're going to get new uniforms. I'm not really in favor. I like the dark blue, and I like the orange stripe down the side of the blue jersey. Not in favor. I really like that, but hey, I don't make the rules in Denver. I'm not the owner. Anyways, they will be getting new uniforms down the road, but in the meantime, enjoy these uniforms this Sunday evening. I say enjoy the uniforms this Sunday evening, and let's get a win. Let's blind the heck out of the Broncos, out of the Patriots receivers. And they can't see with that blinding snow on the ground, and they can't see with the lights from the stadium glaring down on the orange uniforms and blinding, like I can't see the football. Yeah, let's bring the fans into focus. Let's bring the throats in full force. Let's make it noise. Let's rock the stands. Let's shake the cameras. Let's let the Patriots know we are meaning business. That's exactly what I hope. Exactly what I hope happens. Fans have got to turn out. They got to yell. They got to turn out. We got to get a victory this coming Sunday. Kamani says, question: Who does the snow favor, Denver or New England? Wow, good question there, Kamani. Very, very good question. I would say this. All right. Tom Brady, when Tom Brady was on the Patriots, and if you guys recall, about 8 years ago, I think it was 8 years ago. It was 2019. Was it 19? I think it was 2019. Anyways, it was when, it had to be before that. It had to be 2015. 2015 when Brock Osweiler had to fill in for Peyton Manning in that Broncos Super Bowl run, and the Broncos played the Patriots in Denver. It was a snow game, and that's when it went to overtime, and Anderson ran around the left end and ran it in. That game ended up Denver 30, New England 24. That was against Tom Brady and everything. Yeah, that was a close game because Tom Brady had played the snow many, many times. I'm not sure that the Patriots team now has played in a lot of snow. Now, I'm not saying Denver's played in a lot of snow because they haven't. They haven't played in a lot of snow. But Kamani asked the question, who does it favor more, Denver or New England? Well, I say it favors Denver more because the Patriots team now hasn't played in a lot of snow. Neither have the Broncos, but the game is in Denver. The game is in Denver, and you got home field advantage. You know your turf. You know where, you know the familiarity of the stadium, and the crowd's going to be loud. And I think this particular game, it favors the Broncos. Now, if you were to say the game was in New England, there's no doubt in my mind in favor of the Patriots. Absolutely favor the Patriots. Again, because they know their stadium and their fans and their crowd, and the game's going to be different if it's snow. You can't throw the ball 50, 55, 60 yards down the field. Not that I think, Russell Wilson can. But what I'm saying is, you can't do those long passes because the ball is going to be wet. It's going to be, sitting on the ground, in snow. Half the ball is going to be on the snow. The other half is going to be on the center's hand. So, I just don't think that it's going to be a high scoring game. So in that instance, I think it favors the Broncos because of our defense. Absolutely, because of our defense. And if we can get a run game in the snow, in the cold, definitely favors in this game. Kamani, in my opinion, it definitely favors the Denver Broncos. Hey, Graham is in the house. The 3 players the Patriots are listing as out for Sunday night's game in Denver is running back Ramondre Stevenson with an ankle, wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster with an ankle, and Jabril Peppers with a hamstring and safety. Wow, that definitely helps out Denver, especially with Juju Smith. He hasn't been all world, but he does produce, and that's one thing that if he's unavailable and can't go, then that's better for Denver. Absolutely better for Denver. Grandma says C.J. Anderson's run that game was incredible. My favorite C.J. run, absolutely. And you know what, Graham? That was the second time they ran that play. They ran that play earlier in that drive. And they went back to it in overtime. Was it early in the drive or earlier or late in the fourth? Something like that. But I know it was recent to the overtime, and it worked both times, this time resulting in touchdown. Brilliant play. I absolutely love that. There are a handful of plays that I can go back in my Bronco memory bank and watch all over and just love it from the first time I saw it. The John Elway comeback against the if it had to be one play, it would be the touchdown pass to Vance Johnson in the end zone against Cleveland that tied the game, and then we won it in overtime. Another one would be obviously Super Bowl 32, the Whirly Bird, in the Super Bowl that was played in San Diego against the Green Bay Packers. It was Demaryius Thomas catch in overtime against the Steelers from Tim Tebow, one of my favorite quarterbacks ever. I know he's not a big fan favorite as far as his play on the field. I just love the guy. I love his faith. I love his passion, emotion. I love Tim Tebow. So those plays definitely. C.J. Anderson's play in that overtime game was phenomenal. That was a Thanksgiving Day game, Thanksgiving Day weekend game, I should say. I was at my sister's in Pasadena, California, just east of L.A., and I was up there for that weekend. It was phenomenal. We both loved the outcome of that game. So there are a handful of games I can look back and say, yeah, I could watch them all day long and never get tired. Never, ever, ever get tired of seeing it. Absolutely never get tired. And there's so many more, but those are the ones that just stuck out now. Let's see. D-Rock is in the house. D-Rock says, Big Bill. I said, Big D-Rock, what is up, my friend? Glad you chimed in. Glad you're here in the chat. Graham says on that end around by C.J. Anderson in the game against the Patriots 8 years ago at Mile High in the snow. Graham says, I think it was a back-to-back plays. You know what? It might have been. And I think wasn't the first one there was like a penalty or offside? I don't know, something weird. But I remember that happening. Yeah, and it was very, very close. If it wasn't back-to-back, it was certainly very close. Let's see. Graham says, I remember these fat heads. I remember that. I used to have a fat head stuck on the wall too. I remember that. Yeah. Says he has a fat head of the Tebow DT play versus Steelers. Oh, that is awesome, Graham. That is so freaking cool. That's a keepsake right there, man. That's a keepsake. No doubt about it, man. Let's see. I can't get my mouse to work. What the heck is going on here? All right. Kamani says, Bill, name the three amigos again on Broncos receivers back in the day. I think Elway was the QB. Elway was the quarterback. It was Vance Johnson, Mark Jackson, and Ricky Nattiel. I'll never forget that three amigos. Never forget them. They were instrumental in that whole 80s run, mid to late 80s. Vance Johnson was awesome. Mark Jackson was the one that caught that touchdown in the end zone that tied the game in that AFC Championship game. Too bad none of them ever won Super Bowls as three amigos. But those guys were absolutely fantastic. Absolutely great receivers. Mark Jackson, Vance Johnson, and Ricky Nattiel. Those guys were great receivers. Too bad the Broncos, like I said, just didn't have a full team around them, or they could have definitely won many Super Bowls with those three guys and John Elway throwing the ball. Absolutely, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Hey, my brother-in-law from Vegas says, Rudy Torres says, well, hell, Bill, love the chat, but celebrating our anniversary. Well, good. Happy anniversary, man. Well, you don't need to be listening to me. Listen to your wife, man. Enjoy the time. But thanks for chiming in, and thanks for poking your head in, so to speak, and then ducking right back out. And I really do appreciate it, Ruth. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Kamai says, oh, okay, I had forgotten myself. Well, hey, that's what happens. That's what happens. It's not that we're old, Kamai, not at all. D-Rock says, Sebastian Joseph Day was released by the Chargers. What's your thoughts on getting him? Sebastian Joseph Day. Wow. If he can come at a I don't know, a 3-game rent, or maybe we sign him to 3 days, 3 games. I shouldn't say, not 3 days. I hit that. I got this higher stand from my microphone, make it sound better, but I keep hitting it, so I got to be careful. Anyways, going back to D-Rock's question, Sebastian Joseph Day released by the Chargers, wants to know my thoughts on it. If we can rent him for 3 weeks, 3 games, put him on the practice squad, bring him up if we need to, in a situation. Obviously, we play the Chargers a week from Sunday. So if he can give us some insight and things like that and bring him up for that game, absolutely. Absolutely. Do we pick up his contract? Do we sign him further down the road? I don't know. But that's a good question, D-Rock. That's a really good question. I say, why not take a look? Why not take a chance? Why not take a look? Like I said, we play the Chargers a week from Sunday. We have to win all 3 games, guys, to even have a breath and a thought and a possibility and a chance of making the playoffs. And I mean playoffs. Yeah, I'm talking playoffs. Yeah, sure. So I don't know why you wouldn't take a look at him. Why you wouldn't bring him in. I mean, after all, if nothing else, he could give you advice about the Chargers. I mean, it's not that we need a whole lot of advice. I mean, they're in turmoil themselves. They fired their coach, their GM, and who knows who else. So it's just but if he can help the Broncos, absolutely. Absolutely, D-Rock. If he can help the Broncos any way, shape, or form, I say pull the trigger. Can't point the guns up in the sky. I forgot. Can't say trigger. Okay. Graham says, definitely could use some more pass rush run stop. Absolutely. Of course we can. Of course. And that's what I'm saying. If we can bring him in and he can, he can be an asset right out of the gate, which I think he absolutely would be. If the Chargers are going to do a fire sale, then let's pick up the pieces. Let's pick up the ashes and put him on our team, and then use him for the best that we can for the last 3 games, because 2 of the last 3 are division games, and we're going to need his ability to get to the quarterback. We're going to need his ability to stop the run, that kind of thing. All right, let's see. Kamani says, I would grab him. We need to help on defense. Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. So if he can be that kind of person for the Broncos, absolutely bring him in. I have no problems with that whatsoever. Keenan Allen for Jerry Jeudy. Oh, come on. That's a no-brainer. Everybody and their grandmother would make that trade all day long. But my question to you, Graham, is this. Why would the Chargers make that trade? The Broncos would make that trade like yesterday. Absolutely, they'd make it like yesterday. Why would the Chargers make that trade? I don't think they would. And if they did, you're going to have to throw in, the kitchen sink from the Broncos for Keenan Allen. And again, I still don't think you're probably have to throw in Courtland Sutton, which I would not do. I would not do a Courtland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy trade for Keenan Allen. No. Exclamation point. Never happened. Why? Because Courtland Sutton is a beast. Courtland Sutton's a beast. Now, Keenan Allen does make some catches stuff, but not like Courtland Sutton. Go back and look at some of those games. The game against Buffalo, the game against the Vikings. He made some spectacular plays and receptions. There is no way I would ever put Courtland Sutton in any trade. And I mentioned that when there was trade talks about trading Courtland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy. And I was going crazy nuts, yelling basically on the shows, saying, don't do it. You don't get rid of your cornerstone pieces. Thank goodness they listened to me. Well, I kind of think they may have, but probably not. Anyways, thank goodness they didn't make the trades because Courtland Sutton, can you imagine if Courtland Sutton was on a team like the Chiefs and we had to play him and he's making those catches against us? How badly George Payton would have felt, Sean Payton would have felt, or the ownership would have felt? No, you cannot let anything like that happen. And thank goodness they didn't. Okay. I know you're joking. Graham, but you brought up a good point because they were trying to shop Jerry Jeudy like crazy. And I know you're joking, and Graham says totally was joking, never would happen. I understand that. But I thought it was a good thing for me to give my comments on because it would take a lot more than just Jerry Jeudy. And I really don't think the Chargers would ever do it anyways. That is a nice thought, though. And the reason why I even commented on was because the Broncos were trying to trade a Courtland Sutton and a Jerry Jeudy and a Justin Simmons and Patrick Surtain. They were trying to trade them. They were listening to trade offers. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you didn't listen too hard because I would have been pissed if I'd have seen Courtland Sutton making those plays either against us or another team where they ended up winning the game because he was making those catches. That would have pissed me off to no end. All right, guys, this is the last topic, and we kind of touched on it a little bit already, and that is the New England Patriots at Denver Broncos this Sunday night, Christmas Eve. Here it is. The Denver Broncos are in prime time once again. Let's just hope the results are different than last Saturday's results. This Sunday evening, the Broncos will host the New England Patriots. This game can't be taken lightly for obvious reasons. We got to win out. We got to have help. And there's no other way about it. We have to win this game this Sunday. Denver must win out as well as getting help. However, New England and Bill Belichick will want to play the spoiler. And absolutely they'll want to play the spoiler. I mentioned that earlier. They will not be looking at the Broncos any other way than to take them down, to ruin their playoff hopes. Bill Belichick and the Denver Broncos have always been at odds. Always. When we've ever played New England, it's always been Bill Belichick and Tom Brady winning the game. Then we got Peyton Manning, and things changed. I mentioned the last snow game in Denver against New England 8 years ago, 2015. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. The butting heads, the John Elway and Tom Brady, the Mike Shanahan and Bill Belichick, the ownership, Pat Bowen and what's his face? Kraft. So there you go. It's been a dogfight every single time these teams play. Doesn't matter if Tom Brady's not on the Patriots anymore. And it doesn't matter if John Elway's not on the Broncos anymore or Peyton Manning. It doesn't matter. It's the Patriots. It's Bill Belichick. It's his scheme. It's his hoodie he wears. It's his demeanor. It's getting in your opponent's coach's head, opponent's quarterback's head, opponent's player's head, taking away their best weapon, a la Cortland Sutton, the aforementioned. Yes, taking Cortland Sutton out of the game. And I don't mean injured-wise. I mean just not letting him be able to make the catches because he's confused them. He's changing up his defense. He's making defense look like a cover 2 when it's really a cover 6 or a cover 1 or a full-out blitz. He's going to disguise it so big, so many different ways that Russell Wilson could end up being confused. And if Wilson's confused, well, guess what? The Broncos are confused because Russell Wilson's a quarterback. He has to be able to see what the defense is doing and get it accurate and get it correct. The receivers have to run the correct route. The play on the offensive line has to either protect Russell Wilson or open up holes for Javonte Williams or Pirine. That's what's going to have to happen. Our defense is going to have to play solid defense. We can't give up, wide open guys down the middle when nobody's covering because they faked us out. Belichick is going to bring the entire kitchen, everything in the kitchen sink. He's going to throw everything at the Broncos. Why? Because New England has nothing to lose. Nothing to lose. They're out of the playoffs. They're done. Their season's over, but not according to Belichick because he wants to take down the Broncos first and foremost because he wants to be the spoiler. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. And if he can knock the Broncos down a peg, take it to Sean Payton, take it to Russell Wilson, take it to the new ownership group, he's going to want to do it. Why? Because that's what Bill Belichick does. Bill Belichick is a gamer. He schemes, he organizes, and he puts the players in the best position and best possible way to succeed. He's done it his entire career with New England. He's done it with Tom Brady. He did it with what was it? Tony was it Eason that got injured? Was it Eason that got injured with the Patriots? Somebody got injured when Tom Brady came in. I can't remember. I think it was Esiason. No, not Esiason. Not Boomer Esiason. Eason or I can't remember his name. I think that might be. I could be wrong. But in any case, he's done it with every quarterback he's had. Now, yes, this has been a tough year. Absolutely been a tough year. But then again, who would have thought the Miami Dolphins would be, doing what the Dolphins does or are doing? It's just a crazy year. But don't sell yourself short. Don't think that Bill Belichick will not treat this game as a chance to stick it to the Denver Broncos. Don't think for 1 minute that the Patriots are going to lay an egg because they're not going to. And if the Broncos are not on their A game, and if the Broncos are not bringing everything they have and treating this game like a playoff game, they are going to lose it. And that would absolutely be beyond embarrassing at home with a chance to run the table against teams with a losing record. And if they lose to the Patriots and the other teams that we need to have lose don't lose, Denver's done. Denver's done. We have to have a win this Sunday. That's why underneath my name, I put Broncos must win Sunday. Absolutely must win Sunday. All right, before I get to the final score, I think it'll be, I am going to go back to the chat and see what you guys have to say. Let's see. What? Graham says Belichick used to be on the Broncos staff back in the. I'm not sure about that, Graham. I'm not sure about. I know he was a coach or on the staff in Cleveland and got fired or something, and then he went to New England. But I'm not sure he was ever on the Broncos staff. I could be wrong. I could do some digging on that and see what I come up with. But let me check in on that, Graham. Let me check in on that. Rudy says, easy game, we'll win at home. I feel it in my bones. Well, if you're feeling it in your bones, then you must be cold, brother, because that's the only way you can feel anything in your bones is if you're freaking cold. But being in Vegas, I doubt you're that cold. Any case, let's see. Who's calling me now, man? Okay, so let's see. Graham says Pat's quarterback situation's a mess. Knock on, yeah. Oh yeah, now you really screwed it up, Graham. Thanks a lot. Now you really messed it up. No, I just messed with you, man. No, it's all good. Yeah, their quarterback situation is a mess. Absolutely is a mess. But you know what? It doesn't really matter because Belichick will do whatever Belichick does to get their quarterback ready. And when the quarter, I mean, seriously, you look at some of the games that were played this year, and you're shaking your head, going, "How in heaven's name did that team win? Well, what happened? How come that team just laid an egg? That kind of thing." So, oh yeah, Graham, that's a really good one too. Graham says he, being Belichick, also might be fighting for his job. I've heard that he may be on the hot seat. I heard that he may not be coming back or whatever. I tell you what, man, the owner, Kraft, he really likes Belichick. He really does like Belichick a lot. And I think it would take more than just one meltdown season or bad season by the Patriots for Bill Belichick to either step away on his own accord or to get fired. And I doubt that Kraft would ever fire him. He may resign. He may step down. It may be a forced resign. But I don't think you're ever going to hear the words that Bill Belichick was fired by Kraft ever. I don't think you'll ever hear the F word fired from Kraft in regards to Bill Belichick not being there. So I don't foresee that. He may step away. It may be a forced thing, but I don't think that that Kraft would ever fire Bill Belichick. I really don't. Rudy says we are ready, Freddie. Who's Freddie and what are you ready for? I mess with you, Rudy. You know that. Okay. Bledsoe. That was it. It was Bledsoe. That's right. That was Bledsoe that got injured and Tom Brady came in. I don't know why I said Easton. I know that there was a Easton that was on the Patriots. I know that, but it must have been later years or way before Bledsoe or something. But yeah, thanks Graham for correcting me. I really do appreciate it. I don't mind being corrected. Hey, if I'm wrong, you guys keep me honest. That's what I say about my shows. I want to be honest. So thanks again, Graham. Really appreciate it. Combine says the key to the game for the Broncos: play like a playoff team already and protect the ball and defense show up. Absolutely, that's what I said. The Broncos have to play. The playoffs start this coming Sunday. The playoffs for the Broncos mindset has to be starting this Sunday. I thought it should have started last Saturday. Apparently, they didn't get the memo. But in any case, it has to start this Sunday for them to have any chance whatsoever. And you cannot lose at home to the Patriots, who have a losing record. You just can't do it. You just cannot lose to the Patriots. I don't care if it's Belichick or not. Figure out a way. You cannot lose to the Patriots at home, period. Okay, Rudy says he's not ready to retire. Speaking of Belichick, I don't think he's ready to retire either. I really don't. He loves the game. And he loves being a head coach. He loves being on the Patriots. I don't think he's going anywhere. I really don't think he's going anywhere. All right. Graham says Bill Belichick, assistant special teams and defensive assistant, Denver Broncos, 1978. I was a Broncos fan in 78. I'm going to have to go back and look that up, Graham. That is really, really interesting. Wow. Really, really. Thanks for scooping me, man. I had no idea. I started being a Bronco fan in 1976. And so that was just 2 years later. So wow. I'm surprised. Thanks so much for that, for dropping that. That's awesome. That's very, very interesting. Very interesting. And I don't think, Pat Bowen bought the team in 84. So that was owned by the Kaiser Group. In 78. So I was thinking, does Belichick have any animosity against Pat Bowen? And that's why he didn't like Denver, or maybe he wanted to be the Broncos head coach or something of that nature, and it didn't happen. I don't know, but he's always had it in whenever the Broncos and Patriots play. Belichick always brings his A game. You know what? Now you got me thinking, Graham. You got me thinking about the assistant special teams defensive assistant of Bill Belichick on the Broncos at 78. You got me thinking, is there an underlying maybe an issue as to why he always brings his A game against the Broncos more than other teams? Now you got me thinking. Golly, I hit the mic again. I'm sorry, guys. You got me thinking maybe there is an underlying reason as to why he brings more of his attitude and game and all that kind of stuff to the Broncos. Very interesting. Very, very interesting, Graham. Very interesting. All right. Kamani says, boy, if we lose to the Patriots, all hell going to break. Oh, you got that right. You got that right. And guess what, guys? I believe I will be doing the Broncos neighborhood this Sunday with Dungus Creevy. We were supposed to have our Christmas party here, but with the death in the family, it's still not finalized. And with my wife, it's just like, you know what, we just can't do this. We just cannot have Christmas Eve here. So excuse me, guys. So that's been postponed, and obviously canceled or whatever. And so therefore I will be available Sunday night, because normally they would come over around 3 or 4 in the afternoon. We'd have a nice big roasted dinner or whatever my wife would make. And then we'd all sit around, we'd open up gifts and stuff, and they'd stay here until about 10 or 11 at night. So obviously I wouldn't have been able to do the game. However, that's been canceled. So it looks like I'll be doing the game, which I'm really looking forward to. Really, really looking forward to. All right. Let's see. Kamai says, I thought Bill signed a contract extension during the offseason. I think he did too. That's another reason why I don't think he would be going anywhere. And if I just Belichick is the Patriots. It's kind of like Chuck Noll was the Steelers. Mike Shanahan was the Broncos. I mean, Don Shula was the Dolphins. So, things like that, there are certain coaches that stick around the teams for a very, very long time. And that's when you look at them and you say, man, when you think of that particular coach, you think of that particular team. And I think that's the same way with Bill Belichick. Yes, he did start out as a head coach with the Browns. Nobody ever remembers that because he spent, forever in New England. So yeah, he's not going anywhere. And I think if Belichick does leave, it's going to be on his own. It's going to be on his own doing, his own accord. It's not going to get fired. Like I said, there's just no way that Kraft is going to fire Bill Belichick. In my opinion, there's just no way he's going to fire him. It's just my thought. No way. Let's see. Rudy says, all the way talking about the Broncos. Well, you got six horses up there, and we only got 3 games left. So I'm not quite sure about your math, but maybe you're doing the 3 wins to get to the playoffs, and then the 3 playoff games to get the Super Bowl. Well, if you're a wild card, you need 4. So that doesn't work either. So Rudy, I don't know your math, but it's all good. Okay. Big E Bronco is in the house. Big E, nice to have you. It says Bill Belichick's contract that they just renewed was only through 24. Okay, well then he does have one more season. And again, I think if Belichick walks away, he's going to walk away on his own accord. It's not going to be because Kraft kicked him out the door, said I don't want you anymore. It's just very, very difficult for me to believe that. But then again, Mike Shanahan was fired, and he was a long-time head coach, and he was fired by Pat Bowlen. I mean, Pat Bowlen's the owner. So, I mean, I don't know. It just seems difficult for me to believe that Bill Belichick would go to any other team but staying with the Patriots. It would be very, very difficult for me. Let's see. Wow. Bill Belichick's 71 years old. Okay. All right. 71. Okay. Well, he's got 6 years on me. But being a head coach in the NFL it's got to be nerve-wracking. It's got to take years off your life. It's got to take. Think about it. They hardly ever sleep. You think? I mean, they're constantly going over game plan. They're constantly doing this, checking this out, watching this film, watching that film, having meetings, whatever. Man, that has got to be taxing beyond taxing. I can't even imagine. And then you got these young guys in there. That are head coaching, and like O'Connell in Minnesota, he's young, and I think to myself, holy smokes, man, the guy's going to be looking like he's 90 before he's even freaking 50. I mean, it's like being the president of the United States. They go in with black hair, they come out with gray hair. I mean, they've only been in there 4 years, so go figure. But yeah, that's just what happens. All that stress and late hours and whatever it is, it just takes a toll on you, especially on these head coaches. So anyways, guys, all right, man, we're going to wrap it up. Once again, guys, I want to thank each and every single one of you in the chat. You guys are amazing. And I'm going to go right down the list. We got Doc Hopper. We got Kamani. We have Graham, D-Rock. We got Rudy. We have let's see who else we have. I know we got somebody else here. And we got Big E Bronco in the house as well. So guys, every single one of you, thank you so much for being in the chat. Thank you so much for your comments and all that. You guys are fantastic. I look forward to doing the show each and every week. And you guys are one of the main reasons, if not the main reason, why I love doing this show and interacting with you guys. You guys are amazing. Have a wonderful, wonderful Friday evening. It's the last Friday show before Christmas. Everybody out there, have a wonderful and happy, safe, Merry Christmas, guys. I look forward to seeing all you guys in the Broncos neighborhood this Sunday night against the Patriots. And I didn't give my score. I will. And also Monday night when I do the recap, which is Christmas. I may not do it Christmas night. I probably won't. I'll probably do it that Tuesday, the following day. I don't know. I don't know yet because it's Christmas. I'm not quite sure where I'm going to be. If I'm going to be home, at 5 o'clock at night. I don't know. Might be at our son and daughter-in-laws with the grandkids. I'm not sure. Okay, guys. Anyways, one way or another, you will see me this Sunday. If not Monday, then you'll definitely see me again on Tuesday. Guys, I say the Denver Broncos final score against the New England Patriots at home with a possible snow flurries in Denver wearing the Orange Rush jerseys. Denver wins this game going away 31-10 against the Patriots. Denver 31, New England 10. That's my prediction. That's what I think. Kamani says 27-13 Broncos. I say I'll take that all day long too. Absolutely take it all day long. Guys, you've been fantastic once again. I really, really do appreciate each and every one of you. Guys, until this Sunday and also a week from today, Broncos Breakdown on the MHRT Network live next Friday, 5 p.m. Okay, guys, do me a favor, hit the like button. It really helps out a lot. Really do appreciate it. Each and every one that we get, a thumbs up, a heart. We love each and every one of those. Guys, thanks so much again for being the best part of this show. You guys have a wonderful Friday. We will see you this Sunday. Merry Christmas to each and every one. Bye-bye.
Fast lane when I pass in the street. Bag of money in the passenger seat. Simcoe's been asking for me on the road from the west to the east. Way up, I might never come down, cause the coast's racking up the flame out. So high, I might never come down, so what, this is my lifestyle. Wait a minute,